Okay, what I'm holding here is just your average run-of-the-mill iPhone 3GS. This particular model is 16 gigabytes. So the reason I'm making this video is to demonstrate an issue that I've noticed with the iPhone 3GS upon upgrading to iOS 5. Firstly, just to demonstrate that this particular phone is actually running iOS 5. You can see there down the bottom, version 5.0.1. Indicating we're running iOS 5. Okay, and so just to demonstrate, as I was saying, some weird issues, and these are mainly related to sound on this iPhone 3GS. First of all, you'll notice that if I actually press the sound volume rocker buttons, what you actually get is this weird little icon displayed, as opposed to the iPhone telling you what the current volume is and allowing you to adjust that volume up and down. The vibrate switch itself still actually works, and you may be able to hear the phone vibrating. However, these volume buttons just simply don't work. The other issue that has actually arisen since updating to iOS 5 is a lack of sound when locking and unlocking the phone. So if I lock the phone, you hear no lock sound. When I unlock, there's no unlock sound. This is quite peculiar, given that I do actually have locking and unlocking sounds activated. The other issue is keypad clicks. So there's actually no keypad clicks like anywhere, whether it's messaging, web browsing, or anything like that. But where this issue actually gets very peculiar is when you go ahead and you plug in an actual set of headphones. As soon as you plug in a set of headphones, you are immediately able to adjust the volume with the rocker buttons again. So as you can see there, volume, headphones. And interestingly as well, when you have the headphones plugged in, all the sounds that I've mentioned previously actually play perfectly fine through the headphones. So that is unlocking and locking. Oh, well, you can't really hear them obviously because the headphones are in, but take my word for it, they're working. And I guess lastly, perhaps the most peculiar of all the quirks that iOS 5 has introduced on this phone is related to powering the phone on and off. So as you can see from this, the home and lock button are obviously both working perfectly well. I can lock the phone exactly as normal. So the lock button is clearly working perfectly fine. If I go ahead and power off the phone, like so, okay, so it's now powered down. Once the phone is actually powered down, if I go ahead and attempt to power it back up by pressing the lock button / power button, it simply doesn't work. No matter how long I hold it down for, the phone simply won't power up by holding on this power button. Likewise, if I try a reset by holding the home button and power button at the same time, the phone just does not respond. At that point, however, to get the phone power back on, if I go ahead and I plug in an actual USB cable, the phone powers back on. So obviously there were some real issues associated with iOS 5 on iPhone 3GS. I've actually seen this occur now with at least 3 different iPhones, and they've all been the 3GS. Not sure if the same issues also occur on the iPhone 3G. I expect it probably does. Just a couple of things that I forgot to mention. Firstly, with videos, there's actually no sound from videos at all. So if I launch YouTube Go to any old random clip. What you actually see is where the volume slider bar would normally be. There's absolutely nothing at all, and you actually get no sound out of the videos whatsoever, even when I try to turn the volume up. Okay, so in addition, some of you might actually be thinking that, okay, well, maybe the iPhone was acting up before the update. I can assure you that absolutely all these sound features that I've just mentioned were actually working perfectly normal before they upgraded to iOS 5. Now, I do actually do a bit of iPhone repairing, that sort of thing, so since actually upgrading the phone and encountering this issue, I have actually tried replacing the headphone ribbon cable in one of these iPhone 3GS, and it had absolutely no effect whatsoever. So the ribbon cable I'm talking about runs the lock switch, the headphone jack, as well as these rocker button and the mute switch. So replacing that, and still it just behaves exactly the same. So it's not a faulty headphone jack or ribbon cable or whatever it is that's running that. And I guess one other thing to mention is that this issue that I'm talking about doesn't actually happen with every single iPhone 3GS that's upgraded to iOS 5. I have seen some 3GS phones that have upgraded perfectly fine, just working exactly as they should afterwards. But as I said, I have actually seen numerous occasions where the 3GS has been upgraded to cause issues. So at this point, I guess it's a little bit of a gamble as to whether or not you're going to encounter this issue. And just finally, as I mentioned previously, there are actually a few forums out there where people are discussing this issue. Some people have all the issues I've addressed, some people have other issues. I know one of the phones that I've used previously, it also had an issue where it would just randomly shut itself off. That isn't actually the case with this phone. It hasn't had that issue yet. But yeah, anyone else out there might have all of these issues, or a mixture of them, or maybe even some other sort of issues that I haven't actually covered here. In any case, I'll go ahead and I'll put a whole bunch of links in the description down below, and people can check them out.